Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. There we go. Ready for today's journey. Our teacher this week is Carl Jung. And today's message from Carl Jung, today's teaching from Carl Jung really is his central teaching, his central work. I think the most important part of Carl Jung's work is this part today, this part that I'm sharing this morning. To me, this is the most beautiful part of his work, the part that I enjoy the most, and that certainly has informed, I guess, most of what I do on a day-to-day basis with clients. Somebody, good morning. It's very good to see you. Right, let's get into what Carl Jung teaches. Anthony, good morning, dude. Really good seeing you there. From Carl Jung, he says, knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Charlene, good morning. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness within us conscious, lifting the darkness within us to the surface, into the light. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams and looks inside awakens. And that is the point of today's journey. He says, real liberation does not come from glossing over or repressing painful states, but only from experiencing them to the full. Maggie, good morning. It's good to see you. Real liberation does not come from glossing over or repressing painful states of feeling, but only from experiencing them to the full. Liberation obviously means freedom, being free of. That is what it means to be liberated from something. And if painful states of feeling is something we hide away from, something we try and repress, then we're clearly not free from those states. Whatever it is we might feel inside that feels uncomfortable. Because if our habit is to see that coming, to see that uncomfortable, painful state coming, and then to say, nope, I'm out of here, I'm running, then we certainly are never free of that. We only become free of it if we can be with that state until it passes and still find ourselves being okay. One or two more thoughts. Wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contraries. Wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being. If there is anything inside of you that you're trying to resist, if there's anything inside of you that you're trying to abandon and reject, then by definition, you can't be whole. There is no wholeness in your system if there's any part of you that you're trying to leave behind, trying to reject, trying to abandon. Vivian, good morning. Very good to see you. Right, one last thought about wholeness. In every adult there lurks a child, an eternal child, something that is always becoming, is never completed, and calls for unceasing care, attention, and education. Just really get that. And each one of us, there's a part that might still feel like a child. It calls for unceasing care, attention, and education. That is the part of the personality which wants to develop and become whole. Right, beautiful people, this is our journey, a sense of self. It tries to allow us a space to bring what might have been held in darkness to the surface and into light. And if you know Carl Jung's work, or if you've ever heard of shadow work, that is what Carl Jung developed. The concept of shadow work, working with what we have repressed into shadow. Personally, I don't like the terminology of shadow work. I do like the sense that when something is brought into the light, it is no longer in shadow. We don't have to have this constant looming shadow over us, but the concept of shadow work and the results of shadow work is really quite remarkable. So if you're ready, we're sitting with those inner children today and just asking them to speak, because we want to understand what is in there. We want to bring whatever is in there up into the light. If you're ready, you can close your eyes and let's float away together. Starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also make yourself a little bit taller. Stretch your spine, and once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. As you exhale, soften. Allow your body to completely collapse. Imagine yourself to be someone like, or a picture of, the teacher in the classroom, sitting on a chair on the mat, inviting the children to come and sit at her feet. We all have something like an inner child, and sometimes several versions of this. Invite the children to come and sit at your feet. There are a couple of ways to ask this question. Which parts of you have you tried to reject in the past? Which parts of you have you tried to abandon and leave behind? Another way to ask the same question is, what have you been unwilling to feel? What have you been avoiding feeling? Whether it's just one example that comes to your mind or whether there's a few. It helps having this step backwards, this idea of the teacher sitting on the chair while she looks at the kids sitting at her feet, and see if you can form a picture of each of these examples. It might be a younger version of you. It might be an inner child. Or sometimes what is helpful is, if there's a specific event, specific incident that comes to mind, is to visualize yourself as what you think you looked like at that time. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies to stretch, adjust, and settle down. And it can be helpful to ask these inner children to breathe and stretch along with you. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward. Roll out your neck muscles. Make it big half circles, forward and to the left and forward and to the right. Loosening up your neck muscles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. Lean your upper body over to the left and also lean your upper body over to the right. Gently lean over and stretch into your back muscles. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. From this place of presence, we can turn inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a long, slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel all the way into your body. And invite softness into every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. Feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in. And hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly, and it invites you to follow. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath only for as long as it feels easy. followed by a long, slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, bring your attention again to these inner children sitting at your feet. Take your next big breath. To try and make it easy for you to use your own examples today, I'll just use numbers, paying attention to number 1 or number 2, and you use your examples. The question was, what is a part of you that you have been pushing away? A part of you that you have been rejecting? Or what is something that you've been unwilling to feel? Often it's almost as if something speaks within us. There is a narrative. And when we start paying attention, this narrative or these different narratives are certainly parts of patterns, because the same narrative, the same words are often on repeat. And that's another way to pay attention to this. What is an inner narrative, an inner voice that is often repeating the same thoughts? Take your next big breath. For now, we'll just call this number 1, example number 1, and remind yourself again how this part of you speaks, how often or how rarely it speaks. Remind yourself of the words that this inner voice uses again and again. Is it a questioning? Is it an accusation? Or how else would you describe it? Take your next big breath. while you're listening to this particular inner voice speak, just imagine you could be like the teacher on the chair. It's just a step back from this part of you so that you can see and hear more clearly. Could you come up with a picture? And it's not important that you do, but it's helpful to see if there's anything there. Could you come up with a picture of what this part looks like? What this inner voice might look like? Take your next big breath. Imagine with this little bit of distance that you have, a step back so that you can see and hear more clearly. Imagine you can ask this voice a question. Just ask and see if an answer comes, and it's okay if you don't get an answer, but sometimes we do. With your next big breath as you dive deep into you, ask this small self, what is it that you're afraid will happen? What is it that you are afraid will happen? Take your next big breath. Thank this voice for speaking, for sharing. It takes courage to bring what has been held in darkness into the light. If you have one more example, you can turn your attention there. Maybe another voice which speaks often, or maybe not so often, but distinctly. Or if you don't have another example, you can just hold your attention on the same example you started with. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, again allow that voice to speak. Be reminded of how it speaks. What are the words this part of you uses, this inner voice, when it speaks? What does it sound like? Take your next big breath. Just imagine you could look at this part of you and ask it a question. And we'll change the question slightly. When you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, sit with that part of you and ask, what is it that you really want for me? What is it that you really want for us? Take your next big breath. Once again, thank these inner children for showing up. Thank them for speaking. It takes courage. While you're able to sit in something like the teacher with the kids at her feet, I want to remind you of who are you being while you're able to take this step back. While you're able to listen to and look at parts of you that in the past you might not have wanted to listen to or look at. Who are you being while you're not looking away? Who are you being while you are not numbing or running? What is this part that you have stepped into? Take your next big breath. I want you to form a picture of an intention that the next time one of these parts speaks so loudly that you remember how you were able to be the observer now. Remember how you were able to look at and understand a scared part of you speaking. The next time you feel triggered and feel this voice in you being loud, that you remember to ask the question, whose voice is this? Which part of me is speaking right now? Take your next big breath. We'll take one more big breath to slip out of the breath holding space and into the next. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. I'll read to you again some of the words from Carl Jung in our quotes this morning. He says, "Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens." I want you to remember who you are. You are this part of you that can take the step back and look and really see and not push anything away, not reject anything, but hold all of it in a new relationship. You are this part of you that has the capacity to lift up into the light that which has been held in darkness. Our human minds want to put labels on things to help us understand, and it's okay to name it, but know that none of our names and labels do it justice. You are your higher self. You are soul. You are of source. You are source within you. You are the divine in human form. And it is only from this place that you are able to sit down with whatever might have been in darkness within you. It is only from this divine light within you that you can reach in and pull what was in darkness up into the light. You are soul. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for this beautiful journey, a journey of learning and learning and learning. Take a deep breath in. And thank you for learning on this journey that this learning, this growth is not really going or growing anywhere, but returning. That this journey is a returning to the essence of what I truly am. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for not being at war with anything inside of me. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for getting better at remembering. In the moment of being triggered, in the moment of an inner voice being really loud, to stop and ask the question, wait a minute, whose voice is this? Which voice is this? Let me listen and remember that this is not actually who I am. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Nella, good morning. Mari, good morning. Thanks for being part of our circle today. Thank you for being the light that is able to reach into your own darkest places. Not turning your head, not running away, but lifting up into the light, that which might have felt lost and locked in darkness. Nothing inside of you is bad. And I love repeating this, so I'll say it again. But yes, anything that scares us might just be something that is afraid and is in need of our love. Thanks, beautiful people. Thank you, Maggie, Sunmarie, Charlene, Anthony, Vivian, and whoever else might be back there. Lots of love to you all. Have a beautiful day. Wishing you fullness, wholeness, not trying to leave anything behind. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.